Alright, today we're going to be doing kind of replicating this Woodhaven Blue Demon ghost cut. This one's worn out, still sounds alright, but anyways, we're going to be trying to replicate it. And so this is like the lowest tension stretch I've ever done. And I kind of figured you'd have to have it pretty low in order to get these tips close together down here. The tighter the stretch, those tips are naturally gonna want to separate. So to get a close cut like that, you'd have to do low tension. And I've been having fun with this call. I've already got 3 I ain't put in my mouth yet. Who knows, I might give them away or sell them or something. But that one, I already know that's just going to sound awesome. And so real low stretch to get that tiny little gap there. We're going to go with a really small gap between the top and the second reed. And then that's probably a full 1/8 inch, maybe a little bit more. Decent little gap there. Here's the actual call. It's very similar. They might have just a slightly lesser gap there, but this is what I've been really liking the sound of. It's going to be yellow 004 top reed, and then 2 black 003s for the second and third reed. This is what it appears they used. Who knows? You'll never really know for sure, but I'm pretty sure that's what they used there. So let's start making this here call. And I'll show you a few tricks and tips. First off, I've started to stagger my reeds to me instead of staggering them back here. I figured, why not just stagger them to me? I can see it a little clearer. So that's one thing I'm doing a little different. Also, to get that really fine gap there between the first and the second reed, I've found that you kind of gotta get it really close, because once you make that cut, that top reed's naturally gonna kind of pull down. As soon as you make a cut, that it'll kind of, I don't know how to say it, but it'll sag a little bit. So you want this to be really close, closer than you intend to make the gap, because then later it'll kind of space out a little bit more on its own. So that's kind of what we're gonna go with. There. And also I've stopped. I used to tack my reeds a lot. I'd hit it all the way down the whole edges. But I feel like that was not letting the reeds move enough when I'd go to stretch it. I feel like the less the better. With prophylactic, you got to do what you got to do. But with this latex, I've just been tacking each top corner and each bottom corner. You could even just go with the top corners, I'm not sure. Then we're going to set this reed back a little bit further. So about like that. All right. Now I'll show you what kind of stretch we're going for here. I've been eyeballing it. I hadn't been going to a specific spot. So far it's been working good. But I mean, we're just putting a slight little stretch in it. Like really slight. Let's try that again. right, I mean, we're just barely moving the thing. Something like that. Maybe a hair bit more, but it doesn't have to. I've been enjoying low tension lately. I went to the second dot. You don't even have to go there. You're just putting just a little, you just flatten it out basically. All right. Another thing, instead of letting that frame sit all the way down in there like that, you can see it kind of, it's hitting the reeds. So I've been setting this frame up on the little edge there just a little bit, kind of lining it up with my eyes, and then kind of folding her down manually. You don't want any wrinkles. Now once you get it all the way kind of laid down, then you can shift that frame down to sit where it's supposed to be to tap it down. All right. As far as back tension goes, I'm still struggling with this sticky frame. I'm struggling to get a good back tension. A lot of times my second and third reeds kind of don't pull equally. So if there's no wrinkles, I hadn't really been messing with it much. I just basically just pull it up and lay it back, not really doing any tension. But just making sure when you're doing this that you're grabbing all three reeds is the main thing here. Just laying her up. Also got some new scissors, 2 pairs. I hadn't even tried the other pair yet because I've been loving these so much. I'll try and figure out how to do like the link thing. I don't know if I'll know how to like affiliate link it to an Amazon account or nothing, but I at least put it in there so y'all can buy it. It's only like, I think it was $7 a pair. And I have been loving them. They are so clean. But it's like a Westcott 2.5 inch detail scissors, fine tip detail scissors or something. You have to be careful. You don't want to get the scissors that have a curve on them. They're for like doing cuticles on your nails. You don't want to get the curve. You want to get them straight. Anyways, sorry, I kind of got a cold I'm working over. Another thing, I've been still marking my frames, but I'm not laying them out on a template. I've kind of been eyeballing it because this ghost cut I'm trying to make is a little bit more narrow than like this new energy call from Scott Ellis. See, that's a little bit wider cuts. So anyways, I've just been eyeballing to get that. It's probably going to be more like a 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock. And then I still like to come in here and mark where I want to stop. It's been helpful. I recommend it if you're new to it. Just go ahead and put your little marks down. It helps without having to just go in blind and guessing. You know, you want to get these lines the same length. Otherwise, where'd that frame go? Here it is. Otherwise, you end up with something like that. See how the right side's a little higher? So I'm not going to tape that call. It might sound good, but it's not what I wanted. All right, so another little tip here I've picked up on, and it's mostly important with like a higher stretched call, but when you're going to make these cuts, instead of going slowly, just slowly cutting, what that'll do is the stretch in the call, if you're cutting slowly, you'll end up with kind of a curvature in your line, because as the call is being cut, it's slowly stretching. So then your finish line kind of is like a little curve to it. So I've been laying this call in here, or this scissors in here, and lining it up and just pop, just one quick cut. Now, take your time getting it lined up and feeling comfortable before you do it, but just into those scissors where you want to stop and just shop, just cut it real quick. Make sure you're coming from the center of the call. It's still slightly uneven. I will try it. I can't stand going back in for lengthening these lines because it just never ends up good. For the sake of this video, I want it to come out clean. I think I got it a little closer. And you'll notice I didn't go all the way up to those lines. It mainly, it's just a gauge. It just kind of helps you. If you put your scissors in the same spot each side, it's supposed to come out equal. As you see, it's a little easier said than done, but move all this here stuff out of the way. See if I can even get this on camera. This cut too needs to be quick. One quick swipe. There we go. Because again, if you take your time cutting that one, it'll pull as you cut, and you'll end up, it'll still be hanging on by a thread on this left side, and that will never turn out looking good. So I think I could tape that call. It's not 100%, but it's pretty close. I've been getting better with my little whistles and keys and kind of learning how to do that stuff with this call. Where'd my tape go? Here it is. I can't recommend it enough. If you like mouth calls and you've been doing it for a while, maybe you're really good, maybe you're good enough to call in turkeys, and that's all that matters. But I cannot recommend making your own calls. It's going to naturally stretch you as a caller. Because instead of going to the store and buying a call and just throwing it in your mouth, you're making this thing. So when you start calling on it, you want it to sound good, because you want your calls to sound good. And so you'll naturally just want to pick it up more often and experiment with just finding, you want that good sound to come out of your call. And that has been awesome. So I can't recommend it enough. It's a really cheap thing to start. It's not super cheap, but it ain't bad at all. And there's tutorials out there of you don't need a little rig, even though this is only like 60 bucks and it comes with all the materials to make 20 calls. You don't need this thing. There's tutorials out there that you can just sit there on your table with a frame and some tape and some reeds, and you can make a call with just some pliers and scissors. But I got a feeling you'll want to get better at it. If you're hooked on turkey hunting, this is kind of a similar addiction. It'll grab you. Especially when you start calling better than you ever did in the past. Let's see. Gotta be careful that you don't want this tape touching the reeds. It just needs to be on the frame. I can't tell. I think it's good there. Where did my pencil go? There we go. All right. Throw this thing in, see how it sounds real quick. Been working on that. One day I'll figure it out, but to go from that, like, that kiki whine directly into that real raspy 3-note yelp, that is so hard. I can't find that raspy yelp after, I can't find it anyways. I'm assuming it takes just a lot of practice and maybe a very specific call to get that good clear whine and raspy yelp out of one call. But the search is still going and I'm still practicing. I'll get it someday, but sweet little call for soft stuff too. Another thing I'll note, give this a shot. It doesn't necessarily sound better, but you get a different tone out of the call if you just take this call and flip it over and put it in your mouth like that, upside down. Trust me, it still works. It's a little bit easier to get that whine, a little higher pitch and clearer note, upside down like this. Careful on your yelps, so they're high pitched too. Yeah. Give that one a shot. It's a fun one. Hope you all enjoyed it.